All right, let's talk about a place that pretty much challenges everything we think we know about our own senses. A place that completely redefines the very idea of quiet.
But I mean, really think about it. What does true, absolute, total silence actually sound like? We're not talking about just pausing your music. And it's not even just an empty room where no one's talking. No, we're going way, way beyond that. Imagine a place with no wind, no humming fridge, no distant traffic, not even an echo, just nothing. Today, we're going to find out exactly what that feels like. So, our journey is taking us to a very specific room. A room so unbelievably quiet that, well, most people can't stand to be in there for more than just a couple of minutes. And get this, it's not some far-off mythical cave. It's real, and it's hidden away inside Building 87 at Microsoft's headquarters over in Redmond, Washington. The official name for this place is an anechoic chamber. That name literally means no echo, and you can see why. The walls, the ceiling, the floor, they're all covered in these huge fiberglass wedges that just suck up sound. They absorb 99.99% of it. Sound waves have nowhere to bounce. So just how quiet is it? Well, the noise level in there is measured at negative 20.3 decibels. Now, to give you some perspective, the quietest sound a human can possibly hear is 0 decibels. This room is literally, scientifically, quieter than silence itself. So, this is the crazy part. What happens when you actually go inside, the big door seals shut, and every single sound from the outside world just vanishes? Something really strange starts to happen. See, without any sounds coming in, your brain doesn't just switch off. It does the opposite. It starts to listen inward. It begins to amplify all these sounds that you were never ever aware of before. And that's when you have this wild realization. In a place with 0 sound, the soundscape isn't empty at all. You fill it. You become the source of all the noise. People who've been in there say they can hear their own heart beating like a drum. They can hear the whoosh of blood rushing through their veins, the gurgling of their own stomach. You can even hear the faint creak of your joints when you move. But it gets even weirder. You know, we don't think about it, but our brain uses all these tiny, subtle echoes to figure out where we are in a room. It's how we orient ourselves. Well, when you take all those echoes away, your brain gets totally lost. People say they feel completely untethered, dizzy, and they actually lose their sense of balance. It's hard to even stand up in there. The whole experience is so intense that the world record for someone staying in there voluntarily is just a little over an hour. Most people tap out after just a few minutes. They practically beg to be let out. Not because it's loud, but because the silence itself is just too much to handle. So this brings us to this really fascinating paradox, right? Why on earth does the quietest place in the world feel so loud, so unsettling? What is it about us humans that makes us so uncomfortable when there's no noise? Well, I think it's important to realize there are 2 different kinds of quiet. You've got the extreme silence, like in that chamber, which just feels wrong and disorienting. But then there's controlled silence, like when you're meditating or you just find a quiet corner to think. That's the kind of quiet that's actually good for us. It's calming, it helps us focus, and it can even make us more creative. So maybe the issue isn't silence itself. Maybe it's what silence forces us to do. In a world where we're constantly bombarded with noise and notifications, true quiet forces us to be alone with ourselves, our thoughts, our feelings, with 0 distractions. And honestly, for a lot of us, that can feel way louder than any external sound. So what's the takeaway from all this? I think this incredible room shows us that maybe we need to rethink our relationship with quiet. And because of that, I've got a little challenge for you. Sometime today or maybe tonight, I want you to try this. Just find a spot where you won't be bothered. Put your phone in another room, turn off the TV, and just sit for 5 minutes. Don't try to meditate or do anything special. Just sit and notice what you hear. Because, in a world that is screaming for our attention 24/7, just learning how to be comfortable in a quiet moment, that might be one of the most powerful and rarest skills anyone can have. So, if this whole idea of absolute silence gave you a bit of a chill, do us a huge favor and hit that like button. It really does help. And I've got to know, be honest, drop a comment below and tell us, do you think you could last a full hour in that room, and why do you think so?
And of course, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into another one of the world's hidden extremes. Thanks for hanging out with us and listen closely.